The Grand Prix is proudly brought to you by Goodyear and Mobil.
Hello, I'm Patrick Lindsay, standing in tonight for Darryl Eastlake, who's laid up in the pits with engine problems. Hope you're feeling better, Daz. Welcome to this, the 46th running of the Monaco Grand Prix. This famous circuit is the shortest and the slowest of them all, and by far the most difficult on which to pass. So here, more than anywhere else, a spot near the front of the starting grid is critical to your chances. And in qualifying for this third Grand Prix of the 88 season, Ayrton Senna has grabbed his third pole position. The Brazilian burned around Monaco a full second and a half faster than his McLaren Honda teammate, Alain Prost. First and second currently in the Drivers' Championship, and first and second on the grid tonight, Prost and Senna. In third and fourth, we've got another matching pair, the Ferraris of Gerhard Berger and Michele Alboreto. Nigel Mansell's Williams Judd is the first of the normally aspirated cars on the grid, with Alessandro Nannini in his Benetton in sixth place. The reigning world champion Nelson Piquet finds himself back in 11th spot in the Lotus, so it's going to be a tough afternoon for him. Here in Australia during the week, the former triple world champion Niki LAUDA flew in to promote his airline. Darryl Eastlake grabbed the opportunity to find out what the great man thinks of the demanding Monaco circuit.
I think it's the most difficult place to race on because very narrow roads, very bumpy, up and down, tunnel, you don't see anything. I mean, compared with Adelaide, it's much worse. The cars really, with all this power, are very difficult to drive. Turbo cars are right on the limit, aspirated cars easier to go. Yes. And certainly the power reduction from last year to this year was very important, especially on Monte Carlo's case.
In tonight's race, the normally aspirated cars should have a fair chance?
That's right. I believe this is the circuit where they have the most chances, because on the quick circuits there's no way. Monte Carlo is the place where they can do something. You have to have a reliable car there. You have to change so many gears, so it's really a hard race on car and driver. So I think an aspirated car there has the edge.
Do you think it's a circuit that should be kept?
It has to be kept because of publicity, because Monte Carlo itself is a very famous city. The area around is very nice. People go there on holiday, really, not only for the race. So from PR point of view, I don't think that Formula One can do without it.
I was there a couple of years ago and saw the Patrick Tambay accident. Now, the roads are so narrow, there's no room for you to move if you make a mistake.
That's right. The only advantage there really is that the speeds are fairly low. I mean, all the difficult places, the speed is low, so if you hit, you don't hit that hard. But at the other end, when you have an accident in the tunnel, where you go in fifth gear flat out, so a right-hand corner, and you really don't see anything, so that's bad news. But I mean, overall, the speeds are fairly low, but it doesn't mean that you have no accident where you can hurt yourself.
I stood in that tunnel and I had to adjust my vision. You were coming in and out of it so quickly. What sort of speed are you going through there?
We're going through there with 280 kilometers per hour now with these cars. So basically, you turn into a black hole and the only thing you do is see where the light is and try to find your way out again.
The pit area too I found very dangerous. I mean, you really have to have your wits about you when there's a race on it, so narrow and so busy.
I mean, compared with Adelaide, there's no comparison, because there the people thought really what to do to adjust the circuit through a city for these modern cars. Monte Carlo couldn't do anything because of the environment, so they can't really knock the houses down to make sure the roads get wider. So really Monte Carlo is on the limit for Formula One. The horsepower reduction helps the situation but doesn't cure it.
In what you've seen of the races so far, who do you fancy in tonight's race?
Hard to say. I think Senna has got a good chance because he's a guy who likes that place. Prost has got the experience, so it will depend. It's hard to say. The aspirated cars with Mansell knows the place quite well. Ferraris I don't think will be all that good there because they've never been. So I think it will be again McLaren and maybe Williams, maybe the Nannini or Boutsen. It's very hard to say because Monte Carlo is a long race, so you really need experience, reliability and speed.
All right, and finally, will we see you back in Adelaide for the Grand Prix this year?
Certainly flying into Sydney every week, I will be there because I like the place. As I said, it was my last race. Unfortunately, I didn't finish in the end because I was right in the lead. Would have been a nice end for my career, but anyway, go and have a look now.
I remember when you kissed the wall, ever so gently.
That's right, I had brake problems there, and that was it. We had these carbon brakes, and unfortunately they couldn't make it all the distance, and I ended up in the wall.
Thanks for your time.
Fascinating stuff from the great Niki LAUDA, talking earlier this week with Darrell Eastlake. OK, the cars are out on the track over there in Monte Carlo, and we'll join them right after this.
There's activity in the air, activity down below. Don't know quite what it is, but it's got me going, and the city's got a special glow.
I'm hearing things that I wanna hear. I hear voices that I know.
Hello world, this is
And these voices have the strength